let's start with alignment and how important is alignment for your health and well-being.
Yeah, if you're out of alignment, then you are susceptible to compressed nerves, bulging vertebrae discs, lymphatic stagnation, poor circulation overall, um,
Dementia.
brain condition, brain conditions. Yep, brain conditions for sure. Um, foot conditions such as bunions, high arches, hammer toes, um, knock knees, tibial torsions. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, think of it like a shelving unit. If you look at a shelf, it's all aligned perfectly because that's how the engineer drew it up. Well, if the shelving unit was just a little off, that shelving unit isn't going to be very effective. And so human beings are meant to move, but we don't move anymore much. And, you know, the alignment is super important and it's something we got to fix. It's the hidden key to health, I feel.
Yeah, it's the foundation, right? It's the ground, just the ground of everything. Everything builds on that. So if the foundation is not strong, everything's going to fall apart.
Yeah, that the camera that's pointing at me right now is on a tripod.
Mhm.
If that tripod was out of alignment, then the camera shot would be off.
Absolutely. And I read also that you work with the muscles instead of the bones. You were saying how chiropractors work with bones, but you work more with muscles. Can you explain that as far as our structure goes, how the
Mhm.
muscles help our body stay in alignment?
Yeah, there's about 600 muscles, give or take, and they are strong and they move the bones. They bully the bones. So muscle dysfunction is a root cause of dis-ease for sure. And so we do postural alignment therapy inside of my membership. We have classes and we teach people how to get their body back in alignment by getting their muscles back to being functional.
Does it have to do with working out to be able to get our muscles back intact?
Yeah, we have specific exercises.
Mhm.
So it's similar to physical therapy, but a little more advanced, a little more protocol based. And so that's what we call it PAT instead of
Mhm.
PT, postural alignment therapy.
And you do that all virtually with your clients.
Yep, members. We don't have clients
Oh,
anymore,
members, yes.
unfortunately. We had to shut that down because of all the attacks. But we have a membership now. And yes, our members are from all over the world. America, the UK, South Africa, South America, huge base in Australia and New Zealand. It's remarkable.
That's incredible. So, something as simple as just your body structure over time, over the years, can change, right? The forward motion of your head, your neck, things go out of
Mhm.
alignment, and that can really cause stress and disease in your body.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's correct.
So, we got to work on that posture and do, things to keep that structure strong.
Absolutely. Me included. Because, you know, I've been sitting at a computer for 25 years, clanging and banging, you know, and, it takes a toll.
Absolutely. And so many of us are so stagnant and sitting in one place. And today, even with the young generation, I see my own kids, right? They're always forward looking at the phone, looking down all the time. And, their head is, my son has a big head. And I'm like, oh my God, like your neck, like you got to be careful. And I tell him all the time. And he's like, Mom, leave me alone. You're judging me, whatever he says. But, I try to help as much as I can because I used to be a Pilates teacher. So I'm and a yoga
Mm,
teacher also. So I'm very, present
familiar with it.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
to the alignment of the body and how important it is. And I'll tell you the truth with myself. I take very good care of myself. I keep myself in really good health, but I can feel the structure in my body when it's off. I can feel that my shoulders want to go forward. I can feel when things are out of alignment, you know, and you could really, when you're more present to your body, you can literally feel those things in your body. And, you know, even, I mean, aging, right? As you age, right? I mean, things are going to change. I mean, in your body. I mean, let me ask you this question. Can we stay as we age? Can we stay as healthy structurally as we were when we were younger? Do things not have to change? Because you know how sometimes people get a little shorter, they shrink. Can all those things be avoided?
They can be avoided for sure. It just takes a lot of work. I often say that postural alignment therapy is to your muscles what brushing and flossing is to your mouth. So, as consistent as you are with brushing and flossing to take care of your mouth is as consistent as you should be with postural alignment therapy and keeping yourself in alignment. And it's just so super important so that you don't shrink, so to speak. And you don't literally shrink. What happens is you either compress your spine or your neck is just falling out onto your chest. And if it came back up and your ear was back over your shoulder, you'd gain an inch. So, you know, I evaluate bodies almost every day when I do my head to toe analyses. And, you know, I point it out all the time. I look at a lot of bodies and most people have their neck is falling out onto their chest.
Scary thoughts. Actually, I've always, you know, I think it's just a really important thing, the body. And, you know, so is it somebody who works with you? Do we constantly have to work on the posture things through our life to stay as healthy as possible? Like we constantly have to do that, as you call it, whatever, the physical therapy or the exercises you give us to be able to stay strong as we age.
Yeah, you got to do it every day.
Mhm.
Every day, even if it's just 10 minutes a day.
And by the way, this is what I wanted to tell you, and I lost track of it. My husband's a dentist. He's actually a holistic dentist. And when you say about flossing and brushing, I was like, I smile because I do floss and brush my teeth. But it is really, really important. And so many people don't even floss their teeth, right? They'll maybe brush their teeth, but they don't floss their teeth. I don't know if my own kids floss their teeth, you know, and we try to teach them that, but it just, you know, we self-sabotage. We get in our own way.
That's right. Yes, we do. And that is from the computer in the skull.